Welcome our panel from the Fox Business Network, Christina Partsinevelos, whose name I just crushed on first opportunity.
Yeah.
Former advisor to Hillary Clinton and her campaign and former consultant to the DNC, Antoine Seawright.
Crushed that, too.
Thank you. And former Congresswoman and board member of Independent Women's Forum, Nan Hayworth. It's great to have you all here.
And you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And
we were having a discussion about stuffing versus dressing and regional differences, but we agree that whatever you want to call the food, it's delicious.
Very good.
Nan, I want to start with you about this comparison that I think is kind of specious.
Yes, I
right?
agree.
This,
completely.
Hillary Clinton and Ivanka,
really?
but her
Yes,
emails, it
but
strikes me as apples to oranges.
I would agree, although they're both fruit, they're both email issues, but yes. And in fact, the wording that the Senate Homeland Security Chairman Ron Johnson used was, we just want to determine whether or not, not just, but we're going to determine whether or not there was anything substantive in the emails,
or classified.
which, by the way, or classified, which are all archived, are all retained. Nothing is missing. Clearly, everything is transparent. Here, look at these emails. You can see this is about logistics. This is what we would call de minimis, almost assuredly.
So, Antoine, I think that there are some substantive differences, but I'll give you this, and I wonder what your reaction is. At the very least, Ivanka Trump's father was presiding over rallies where they were chanting "lock her up" over the misuse of emails to do government business on a private email account. You'd think that maybe Ivanka Trump, who's super smart, would be more finely attuned to that issue, perhaps, coming into the White House?
You know what this says? This says that the Trumps, as their behavior pattern has shown over the course of time, think they're above the law. He built a campaign on emails, lock her up, emails, lock her up. This was the buzzword that motivated millions of people to come out and vote for Hillary. Now, all of a sudden, oh, wait, it's not that serious. It's not that big of a deal. It's just Ivanka. It was different. Look, she knew what she was doing in December of 2016. And Nan, well, I love you to death, but it's very hard for you to speculate what was in the emails because unless you know something I don't know, you can't say you knew or it's not that big of a deal, etc.
Her lawyers made a statement, and we're going to see all the emails.
Of course, the lawyers are going to.
33,000 emails of
protect their client. The other thing is the who.
Not your fault.
The who in this situation on the Republican side is so important. You have Trey Gowdy, who's about to say bye-bye to Congress, who spent millions and wasted taxpayers' dollars, going after Hillary. You have Rob Johnson, whose Wisconsin went so Democratic blue you can't find a red thing in sight after the midterm election. So he's a smart man. He knows how important this is. He knows that this should not be a partisan issue. It should be bipartisan, and they have an obligation to find out what happened.
All right. I agree with that last part. So we're going to come to Christina first. Well, that's a tall order. It looks like House Republicans plan to hold a new hearing in the coming weeks while they still have power. The subject? The Clintons. Got to play the hits. As you know, the Clinton Foundation has long faced accusations of corruption and allegations of pay-to-play. Critics say big-ticket donors got access to U.S. foreign policymakers and that Bill and Hillary made a fortune in the process. Now, House Freedom Caucus Chairman Mark Meadows plans to hold a hearing on December the 5th, and he wants the U.S. attorney who's been looking into the Clintons to testify. Meadows reportedly wants to find out about if any, quote, improper activity may have occurred within the charity. So I wonder if they're going to find anything here, Christina. Is this worthwhile, or is this sort of getting the band back together one last time before the majority
Well, think of
changes?
According to the Dallas Observer, the IRS has been looking into this foundation since 2016. Then you have the fact that the FBI is also looking into it. So what is taking so long? I mean, you can make parallels to nothing, but then why continue to do this? If you get $10 million from Saudi Arabia to your fund right before you go for your presidential campaign, I would raise eyebrows, but I would raise eyebrows towards anybody that gets money. I don't trust what goes on down there. And that leads, I want to bring it back to Ivanka and her emails. We're having this conversation right now thinking it's not that big of a deal. She didn't delete 33 emails, fine. She's going to come out with them. Right. But nonetheless, we have to discuss it. Right away when Hillary had deleted all her emails with the private server, the Fox News, Fox Business News was all on it.
Right.
So we have to be fair. Show that we're bigger than this. Just tell Ivanka that the Trumps are not above the law. They have to follow the rules in the White House. Officials need to know, and they're not stupid. I went to journalism school. They taught us how to file a Freedom of Information Act for a reason, because you can't trust what they do. And obviously politicians and public servants are going to use their phones to talk about public.
Antoine.
But it's a pattern of behavior from Trump and his family.
It's happened with everybody, though.
Well, it's a pattern of behavior for this administration to conduct themselves as if they are above the law and they control the law.
And let's wait and see what these emails are.
No, what I'm saying to you is if it was Barack Obama's administration and this happened, you would be doing cartwheels about the issue and saying, you know what, he needs to be investigated, he needs to be in jail.
And you know what, those cartwheels would be very short-lived, Antoine, because what we're going to find out, I'm sure, is that the emails, I mean, look, her lawyer's already made a statement about it.
Yeah, let's wait and see.
But we're going to see. We're going to see. But the fact that they've already said, look, you can seal these emails, nothing's being concealed, these are about logistics, I'm going to...
But if one person did it, imagine who else in that administration, whether it's Jared, it could be many more.
Actually, to that point, the Oversight Committee asked for an investigation. But they asked the Trump administration for an investigation in 2016, and they still haven't. 2017, sorry. And they haven't
when the Republicans were in control.
But they haven't done the investigation. So I just.
When the Republicans were in control.
Yes. So
you know what?
You both have points.
No, they're responsible for it.
Let
me come back to this hearing that we might see in December.
That's not true.
This waste of taxpayer dollars.
A last hurrah.
Well, the Democrats are experts at that.
I'm going to ask the question. A last hurrah from House Republicans on the Oversight Committee.
Yeah.
Is this a worthwhile use of their time in the lame duck session?
Well, you know, the Oversight Committee has ample opportunity to ask these questions.
This is sounding like a no.
You know what? We'll see. I mean, Huber
has a Tootsie roll around this issue.
No, Huber, look, I don't know what Huber's going to reveal. I mean, it is a last hurrah. I think that's true. But is it a last hurrah worth having? Perhaps.
But hang on, Antoine. There's been this U.S. attorney investigating it. We don't know where he's gotten. Isn't it reasonable to ask, what do you have, if anything?
No. What we know is
because you know once the Democrats get in, it's going to go nowhere.
This is the last playbook in the Republican-controlled Congress that they're going to run to try to make a red meat issue so they can have their relevance in a Democratic Congress. That's okay. If you want to waste taxpayer dollars, and be hypocritical about being fiscal conservative, that's okay.
One point. You have a parallel, though. You have a parallel. You should follow up with those emails because we should know. And yes, we should know if the Clinton Foundation has done anything wrong.
There we go. That's a nice bow to put on this. We've got to go. But you guys, you'll be back with 3 more topics if we can get through them later on.
I think
Panel returning later. But